التلفون ولا تغيره الحوادث ولا يخشى الدوائر، يعلم مثاقيل الجبال ومكائيل البحار وعدد قطر الأمطار وعدد ورق الأشجار وعدد ما أظلم عليه الليل وما أشرق عليه النهار، ولا تواري منه سماء سماء ولا أرض أرضا، الحلال ما أحللت والحرام ما حرمت والدين ما شرعت والأمر ما قضيت، الخلق خلقك والعبد عبدك وأنت الله رؤوف رحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على حبيبه ونبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وأنيبوا إلى ربكم وأسلموا له من قبل أن يأتيكم العذاب ثم لا تنصرون. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: الدنيا سجن المؤمن وجنة الكافر، أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today, inshallah, we will start with Surah Ra'd. Surah Ra'd. This surah was also revealed before Hijri, before migration. The topic or content of this surah covers aqaid, in other words, tawheed, risala, and proof of akhirah. This surah will cover the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how His creation indicates towards His oneness. How a person, just by looking at his creation, just by looking at the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in this surah we will find Allah ta'ala gives many examples of His creation, the likes of creating the sky, the earth, and many other examples as well. Now this is to show that if a person looks at his creation, just by looking at his creation, a person can be linked, directed towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because now all these examples are followed by the ayah that we read in Surah Yusuf, ayah number 105. وَكَأَيٍّ مِّنْ آيَةٍ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ يَمُرُّونَ عَلَيْهَا وَهُمْ عَنْهَا مُعْرِضُونَ. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there are many signs. وَكَأَيٍّ مِّنْ آيَةٍ. There are many signs that a person can see just by looking at the stars, looking at the sky, looking at the earth, looking at trees, and etc. يَمُرُّونَ عَلَيْهَا. And these are such that people go by and they see them daily. But yet, the Kuffar of Makkah, in spite of seeing all these signs, all this creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَهُمْ عَنْهَا مُعْرِضُونَ. Thereafter, they are still not believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are still looking to someone else for help. So, my dear respected brothers, Surah Yusuf had taken quite some time. Initially, we're actually 2 juz behind now. So today, what we will do is, these are all examples of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we will read most of this surah, Surah Ibrahim as well. It covers the same content. And we'll get into a few details of Surah Ibrahim as well. Now, there are a few ayahs and I might explain, that I will explain here, but most of them are examples and signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we will just read them in Arabic. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام را تلك آيات الكتاب والذي أنزل إليك من ربك الحق ولكن أكثر الناس لا يؤمنون. الله الذي رفع السماوات بغير عمد ترونها ثم استوى على العرش وسخر الشمس والقمر كل يجري لأجل مسمى يدبر الأمر يفصل الآيات لعلكم بلقاء ربكم توقنون. Then again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the Kuffar of Makkah example of His creation. Now, just a little explanation here. الذي رفع السماوات بغير عمد ترونها. This is honestly a very great miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today, my dear respected brothers, when we see a structure today, now this structure, if it's not built, if the structure does not have a foundation, if a structure does not have pillars to support it, this structure will not last. This structure will collapse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الذي رفع السماوات بغير عمد ترونها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is such, acknowledges such, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the sky. He has uplifted, raised the sky right before us, before our eyes. And how is it raised? بغير عمد ترونها. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has raised the sky without any pillars. In this there is a sign that there is one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That this, just by looking at the sky, how the sky is raised without any pillars, a person can be directed towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, one other thing I would like to say, and this is actually a little off topic. Well, it's not really off topic. It's still pertaining to the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Upon one occasion, a man came, a person came to Einstein, and he found when we have today, when we see a model of the solar system, where the planets. So the sun was there. Around the sun, there were many other planets as well: Earth, Venus, Mercury, and etc. So this person, he was an atheist. So he said to Einstein, he said, how did this come into existence? Because he was really astonished by seeing that model. He said, who created this? Who made this? He said, no one did. That's what Einstein said. So the atheist said, what are you talking about? Someone, there has to be a creator for this. Someone, there has to be something. Someone, who created this? It's really beautiful. Einstein said, no one has created this. It came into existence. It just came out of nowhere. So he said, then again, how is this possible? How can this come out of nowhere? So Einstein said, if you're saying this cannot come out of anywhere, and this is a small example, so what about the skies? What about the earth? What about the sun? What about the moon? How do they come into existence? So thereafter, this atheist was dumbfounded. Here today, inshallah, we'll start Surah Ra'd, as someone asked. Now today will be a little different. I will say this again. Surah Yusuf, there were very key lessons that we extracted, that we hopefully that we will learn from. And these examples we did earlier prior to Surah Ra'd. Surah Ra'd, now once again, for those who have just joined, Surah Ra'd talks about, it was revealed before Hijri. The topic or content of the surah covers aqa'id, in other words, tawheed, risala, and proof of akhirah. The surah will cover the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how his creation indicates, just by looking at his creation, how this creation can direct a person towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give further examples. وَالَّذِي مَدَّ الْأَرْضَ وَجَعَلَ فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ وَأَنْهَارًا وَمِنْ كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ جَعَلَ فِيهَا زَوْجَيْنِ اثْنَيْنِ يُغْشِي اللَّيْلَ النَّهَارَ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Then again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving an example. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, الَّذِي مَدَّ الْأَرْضَ, the one who has stretched the earth, spread the earth. وَفِي الْأَرْضِ قِطَعٌ متجاورات وجنات من أعناب وزرع ونخيل سنوان وغير سنوان يسقى بماء واحد ونفصل بعضها على بعض في الأكل إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يعقلون. Then again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like I mentioned earlier, this surah, my dear respected brothers, this is why we're not going into the deep details of this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, throughout this surah, he will give examples of his creation and how a person, just by looking at the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will be directed towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وإن تعجب فعجب قولهم أئذا كنا ترابا أئنا لفي خلق جديد أولئك الذين كفروا بربهم وأولئك الأغلال في أعناقهم وأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون ويستعجلونك بالسيئة قبل الحسنة وقد خلت من قبلهم المثلات وإن ربك لذو مغفرة للناس على ظلمهم وإن ربك لشديد العقاب ويقول الذين كفروا لولا أنزل عليه آية من ربه إنما أنت منذر ولكل قوم هاد الله يعلم ما تحمل كل أنثى وما تغيض الأرحام وما تزداد وكل شيء عنده بمقدار عالم الغيب والشهادة الكبير المتعال. Then again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving examples of his knowledge of his creation. سواء منكم من أسر القول ومن جهر به ومن هو مستخف بالليل والسارب بالنهار له معقبات من بين يديه ومن خلفه يحفظونه من أمر الله إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم وإذا أراد الله بقوم سوءا فلا مرد له وما له من دونه من والي. Now here, my dear respected brothers, in this ayah number 11, له معقبات من بين يديه ومن خلفه يحفظونه من أمر الله. Now, there are a few aqwal here. معقبات من بينه. This is referring to as angels. Now, ulama al-mufassirin rate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we read in this ayah, يحفظونه من أمر الله. These angels are sent and appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect a person. Now, to protect him from what? Now, then again, there are two aqwals here. There are many aqwals, but two major ones I'll tell you. The first being is, these angels, they protect a person from getting harmed. Now, a person might ask, then what about that person who gets into a car collision? Or what about that person who, something falls on his head? So, ulama al-mufassirin have written, these angels protect a person until the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is written. So, in other words, it is written for that person, to get into a car collision, or it is written for that person to get hit by a tree trunk or whatever it may be. At that point, angels back off. They back off. The second goal is that these angels, they do not protect a person from calamities, for instance, getting into a car collision or whatever it may be. These angels are appointed to protect insan from jinns. Had it not been for these angels, jinns would bother and torture insan. So these jinns, then again, these are two qawms. Now moving on, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيْرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيْرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Now, this is, my dear respected brothers. Now, then again, I'm not doing word for word translation, and this is a very beautiful ayah that we have to learn today. That we have to take a lesson from. Today, my dear respected brothers, if we need to make a change in the world, today a lot of people say, we need to make a change. What does Allah Ta'ala say? If you want to change, if you want the world to change, if you want others to change, firstly, you have to start with yourself. You have to change yourself. If you need to change, you have to change your own habits. Now, one beautiful story I'd like to share before you. Once there is a person who went to a sheikh, and he said to the sheikh, my son, he eats. It was a certain candy, or certain type of candy that he used to eat. He eats this candy and he eats it excessively. He eats it all the time. Can you please tell him to stop eating this? So the sheikh said, okay, give me some time, inshallah, I will inform him and I'll tell him to stop eating this candy. Now for nearly, 3 months had gone by, a few months had gone by. Thereafter, the sheikh went to this person and he said to the boy, stop eating this candy. Stop eating this candy, it's bad for you. Later on, when people asked him as to, this was a small task, it could have taken a day, but why did you take 3 months? Why did you take 4 months? So he said, the reason why I had taken 4 months, because I was eating the same candy. I was eating the same candy. So how is it suitable for me? This is not befitting. It is not befitting a person like me. It's not suitable for me to go and tell someone to stop eating this candy when I was eating this candy myself. He said, so I changed myself after I informed him. So my dear respected brothers, then again, I have to tell you, this is not referring to as amal. For instance, a person is not praying, so this does not mean he should not encourage others to pray. No. Now, in other words, for instance, a person is not praying. So it is not. Now, this person should not think in his mind that it is not okay for me to tell others to pray because I'm not praying myself. This is honestly, this is the tricks of shaitan. Because by you telling others, inshallah, you will have that spirit of salah in you. If let's say you are a miser person, you are bakhil, you are stingy, you're not that open-hearted, and you withhold, your money, you're afraid to give it in the path of Allah, for some reason. Now, what you should do is you should encourage others to give. By encouraging others to give in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will also open your heart. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will also make you generous. Now, relating to this ayah, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيْرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيْرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. As the poet says, نُعِيبُ زَمَانَ, and this is our situation. As the poet says, نُعِيبُ زَمَانَنَا وَالْعَيْبُ فِينَا وَمَا لِزَمَانِنَا وَالْعَيْبُ سِوَانَا. As the poet says, today people, they tend to blame time. Today, when we're not able to perform righteous deeds, when we're not able to pray salah on time or listen to Quran on time or perform acts of righteousness or perform acts of good, we tend to blame time. We say, the Sahaba, they had such a beautiful time. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was with them. Imam Abu Hanifa, his time was so great. Other scholars, their time, 1900s or 1800s, this time was so great. We're in the 20th century. Our time is very bad. So the poet says very beautifully, he says, Na'ib was zamanana. Today we took to blame time. Wallahi zamanana wa na'ib was siwana. Oh, my brothers and sisters, do not blame time, blame yourself. It is only your fault. It is because of your own fault, because of your own weakness, because of your own laziness, you're not able to perform good deeds. Do not blame time. So my dear respected brothers and sisters, once again, if we need to see a change, we have to change ourselves. Now, moving on. والذي يريكم البرق خوفا وطمعا وينشئ السحاب الثقال ويسبح الرعد بحمده والملائكة من خيفته ويرسل الصواعق فيصيب بها من يشاء وهم يجادلون في الله وهو الشديد المحال. Then again, Ra'ad, this is why the surah is called Ra'ad, because even Ra'ad praises Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيُسَبِّحُ الرَّعْدُ بِحَمْدِهِ. Then again, I said earlier, before starting the surah, this surah will talk about the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how just by looking at these signs, a person can be directed towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. له دعوة الحق والذين يدعون من دونه لا يستجيبون لهم بشيء إلا كباسط كفيه إلى الماء ليبلغ فاه وما هو ببالغه وما دعاء الكافرين إلا في ضلال ولله يسجد من في السماوات والأرض طوعا وكرها وظلالهم بالغدو والآصال. Now, my dear respected brothers, this is a sajda ayat, so whenever you have time, or if you have time right now, please do a sajda. It is mandatory for you to do a sajda. قل من رب السماوات والأرض قل الله قل أفاتخذتم من دونه أولياء لا يملكون لأنفسهم نفعا ولا ضرا قل هل يستوي الأعمى والبصير أم هل تستوي الظلمات والنور أم جعلوا لله شركاء خلقوا كخلقه فتشابه الخلق عليهم قل الله خالق كل شيء وهو الواحد القهار أنزل من السماء ماء فسالت أودية بقدرها فاحتمل السيل الزبد الرابية ومما يوقدون عليه في النار ابتغاء حلية أو متاع زبد مثله كذلك يضرب الله الحق والباطل فأما الزبد فيذهب جفاء وأما ما ينفع الناس فيمكث في الأرض كذلك يضرب الله الأمثال. Then again, another example. للذين استجابوا لربهم الحسنى والذين لم يستجيبوا له لو أن لهم ما في الأرض جميعا ومثله معه لافتدوا به أولئك لهم سوء الحساب ومأواهم جهنم وبئس المهاد أفمن يعلم أن ما أنزل إليك من ربك الحق كمن هو أعمى إنما يتذكر أولو الألباب الذين يوفون بعهد الله ولا ينقضون الميثاق والذين يصلون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويخشون ربهم ويخافون سوء الحساب. Now, then again, my dear respected brothers, just a few details on Salah. والذين يصلون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويخشون ربهم ويخافون سوء الحساب. Today, this is my dear respected brothers, that is being cut off today. Now, inshallah, we'll cover details of Salah Rahmi later on, kinship. But few details on what is Salah Rahmi. Salah Rahmi, my dear respected brothers, joining ties. Now, what is joining ties? Now, this does not mean, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said this clearly, this does not mean if your relative is nice with you, you are nice with them. Well, this is pretty obvious. If someone is buying gifts for you, of course, in return, you will buy him gifts. If someone is giving, you something, in return, you will give him something as well. If someone is calling you to his house, in return, in exchange, you will call him to his house as well, to your house as well. Now, what is Salah Rahmi? Salah Rahmi is that person who does not want to see you, that person who does not want to speak to you, you go and you try connecting the tie here. But after you, now this is Sila Rahmi, that a person who is cutting ties with you, you are joining ties with him. This is Sila Rahmi. This is not Sila Rahmi that someone is nice with you, and in return, you are nice with him. This is really small, brief explanation of Sila Rahmi. والذين صبروا ابتغاء وجه ربهم وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية ويدرؤون بالحسنة السيئة أولئك لهم عقبى الدار جنات عدن يدخلونها ومن صلح من آبائهم وأزواجهم وذرياتهم والملائكة يدخلون عليهم من كل باب سلام عليكم بما صبرتم فنعم عقبى الدار. Now, then again, these are the rewards of those who perform righteous deeds. See, the rewards of this, inshallah, there are many other surahs, the likes of Surah out there, and other surahs as well. We will cover the rewards of Jannah and Jannah itself. والذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن ينصر ويفسدون في الأرض أولئك لهم اللعنة ولهم سوء الدار. الله يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء ويقدر وفرح بالحياة الدنيا وما الحياة الدنيا في الآخرة إلا متاع. ويقول الذين كفروا لولا أنزل عليه آية من ربه قل إن الله يضل من يشاء ويهدي إليه من أناب. Now then again, my dear respected brothers, as we spoke yesterday, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ويهدي إليه من أناب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed and told Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that how, Ya Rasulullah, you cannot guide that person who will not seek guidance. You cannot lead him to the straight path. It is that person who seeks guidance, a person who wishes to, a person who looks for a way, who looks for light, a person who has lived his life in darkness. Now he has that fire in him, he has that enthusiasm within him. He wants to see the right path. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will guide him. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيَهْدِي إِلَيْهِ مَنْ أَنَابَ. A person who is in need, a person who is looking for the straight path, he has to, a person who is looking for the straight path, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will guide him. The one who is in dire need, the one who is looking for this. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَتَطْمَئِنُّ قُلُوبُهُم بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. Now then again, my dear spiritual brothers, a very beautiful ayah, and this ayah, my dear spiritual brothers, this is what we have to understand today. الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. Today, my dear spiritual brothers, how many people do you see? How many people do you see? And honestly, I need everyone to listen to this carefully. How many people do you see today that have their net worth is in millions? How many people do you see today? They have the fanciest, they drive the most exotic of cars. Many cars. Lamborghini, Ferrari, etc. How many people do you see who live in mansions? You know, I have a mansion in Miami, I have a mansion here, I have a mansion there. So many mansions. And yet, they take pills to go to sleep at night. Now, what is the reason? The reason is because although they might tell the world they're happy, but inside, they're not happy. Inside, they're not satisfied. Inside, they're not content. So what does this show? This shows, and it tells us that true happiness is only in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How many people do you see today that have money, that have wealth, who have cars, and yet they go to doctors? How many people do you see today that are going to doctors? They are taking antidepressant pills. I need to get rid of my depression. What can I do? I need to get rid of my depression. My dear respected brothers and sisters, the solution, the remedy is, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there's only one cure. And that is by remembering me, through my remembrance. It is through the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hearts are content. Hearts are satisfied. You seek satisfaction, you will not find satisfaction by going to an amusement park. You seek satisfaction, you will not find satisfaction by migrating to a different city or migrating to a different country. You seek satisfaction today, you are earning $10 an hour, $15 an hour. Satisfaction is not earning $40 an hour, $80 an hour. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this clearly. Ala, beware. It is only out of the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a person will feel content. Now, my respected brothers, and how important is the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I will share a beautiful hadith with you. Now, as we know, when people will be in Jannah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make each and every single one of us amongst the dwellers of Jannah. Ameen. When people will be in Jannah, they will be enjoying their life now. Just imagine, seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These people will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Angels will be there. They will be living with prophets, with sahaba, with pious people, with their family members. Everything is perfect. Everything is green. Everything is lush. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, لَيْسَ يَتَحَسَّرُ أَهْلُ الْجَنَّةِ. The people of Jannah, these dwell. عليه وسلم has said that he called the need, إِنَّ لَكُمْ أَن تَصِحُّوا فَلَا تَسْقَمُوا أَبَدًا. For you is everlasting health, and you shall never fall ill. إِنَّ لَكُمْ أَن تَحْيُوا فَلَا تَمُوتُوا أَبَدًا. For you is everlasting youth, for you is everlasting life, and you shall never die. إِنَّ لَكُمْ أَن تَشِبُوا فَلَا تَهْزَمُوا أَبَدًا. For you is everlasting youth, and you shall never turn old. So now the question may arise, a person will have regret in Jannah? What could this be? What could he have? What more could a person ask for? He would see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would see angels, he will be with prophets. So what regret is this? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, لَيْسَ يَتَحَسَّرُ أَهْلُ الْجَنَّةِ. A resident of Jannah, a dweller of Jannah will not have any regret except إِلَّا عَلَى سَاعَةٍ مَرَّتْ بِهِمْ لَمْ يَذْكُرُ اللَّهَ تَعَالَى فِيهِ. Except for that time that was spent in this world without the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now just imagine, my dear respected brothers, a person will be in Jannah. You will have all the luxuries of Jannah, where grapes will be the size of a watermelon. In Jannah, people will be, they will be given the height of Adam alayhi salam, the beauty of Yusuf alayhi salam, the voice of Dawood alayhi salam, the strength of Musa alayhi salam, and the character of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It's like all in one. SubhanAllah, what more could you ask for? Now this person will be in Jannah, he will smell a fragrance. He will smell a fragrance. Now he would look for this fragrance. He would ask people, where is this coming from? He would ask his family members, he would ask people, he would look around, he would see, where is this fragrance coming from? Then he will look above him, and this fragrance will be coming from the top floor. So meaning, from now, to better understand, if this person is on the 7th floor, this is coming from the 8th floor. It will be coming from the 8th floor. Now he will ask around. He will ask angels, what is this? Where is it coming from? What has this person done? Angels will say, this person has said one subhanallah more than you. He has said subhanallah, one subhanallah, just one subhanallah more than you. That's why he's in a higher state. So my dear respected brothers, this is the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because we have to understand, by remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said as well, by remembering Allah Ta'ala, by glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by saying subhanallah, by saying all these kalimat, by saying la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, you are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what we have to understand, Jannah is a barren land. Jannah, as Allah Ta'ala, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said. And subhanallah, now for instance, now it's better to understand, let's say you go to a restaurant and they say that, you have they give you a dough, a piece of dough. Now, and they say, for instance, you have to make your own pizza. You have to assemble your own pizza. You have to, build your own pizza. Now, this person, he has all the options. He has cheese. There's pepperoni, halal pepperoni. There's many other options as well. Now, for some reason, he only tops it off with cheese, and he comes back. Now, when this person is back, he looks at the other person, and this other person now he has so many toppings. He has more than 15 toppings on his pizza. He has mushrooms. He has cucumbers, or whatever, tomatoes, whatever it may be, and etc. Now he tells him, where did you find all this? He said, well, it was available. Now, but this person only has one chance. Now, and he says, sorry, it's too late. Now you can't go back. Now you have to enjoy this pizza. So, my dear respected brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us all the tools that we need. If you want to exceed exceeding your gardens, if you want a lot of gardens in Jannah, recite La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah excessively. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has given us everything. A person who wishes to have his house made out of rubies, made out of gold, made out of emerald, sapphire, etc. Read these du'as. Remember Allah Ta'ala. Worship Allah Ta'ala. So my dear respected brothers, we have been given the tools. Now it is up to us. Now the question is, do we want a 5-story house, or do we want a 10-story house, or do we want a single-story house? Now that is up to us. We are building our own Jannah in this life. So then again, my dear respected brothers, so then now the details of the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah we'll have one session where we'll only talk about the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how we can actually benefit from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and gain benefits from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, without further ado, inshallah we'll move on. الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات طوبى لهم وحسن مآب, ayah number 29. كذلك أرسلناك في أمة قد خلت من قبلها لتتلو عليهم الذي أوحينا إليك وهم يكفرون بالرحمن. قل هو ربي لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وإليه متاب. ولو أن قرآنا سيرت به الجبال أو قطعت به الأرض أو كلم به الموتى بل لله الأمر جميعا. أفلم ييأس الذين آمنوا أن لو يشاء الله لهدى الناس جميعا ولا يزال الذين كفروا تصيبهم بما صنعوا قارعة أو تحل قريبا من دارهم حتى يأتي وعد الله إن الله لا يخلف الميعاد. ولقد استهزئ برسل من قبلك فأمليت للذين كفروا ثم أخذتهم فكيف كان عقاب. أفمن هو قائم على كل نفس بما كسبت وجعلوا لله شركاء قل سموهم أم تنبئونه بما لا يعلم في الأرض أم بظاهر من القول بل زين للذين كفروا مكرهم وصدوا عن السبيل ومن يضلل الله فما له من هاد. لهم عذاب في الحياة الدنيا ولعذاب الآخرة أشق وما لهم من الله من واق. مثل الجنة التي وعد المتقون تجري من تحتها الأنهار أكلها دائم وظلها تلك عقبى الذين اتقوا وعقبى الكافرين النار. والذين آتيناهم الكتاب يفرحون بما أنزل إليك ومن الأحزاب من ينكر بعضه قل إنما أمرت أن أعبد الله ولا أشرك به إليه أدعو وإليه مآب. وكذلك أنزلناه حكما عربيا ولئن اتبعت أهواءهم بعد ما جاءك من العلم ما لك من الله من ولي ولا واق. ولقد أرسلنا رسلا من قبلك وجعلنا لهم أزواجا وذرية وما كان لرسول أن يأتي بآية إلا بإذن الله لكل أجل كتاب يمحو الله ما يشاء ويثبت وعنده أم الكتاب. وإما نرينك بعض الذي نعدهم أو نتوفينك فإنما عليك البلاغ وعلينا الحساب. أولم يروا أن نأتي الأرض ننقصها من أطرافها والله يحكم لا معقب لحكمه وهو سريع الحساب. وقد مكر الذين من قبلهم فلله المكر جميعا مكر يعلم ما تكسب كل نفس وسيعلم الكفار لمن عقبى الدار. ويقول الذين كفروا لست مرسلا قل كفى بالله شهيدا بيني وبينكم ومن عنده علم الكتاب. Now, alhamdulillah, we have finished Surah Ra'd. Now, inshallah, we will move on to Surah Ibrahim. Now, then again, Surah Ibrahim covers the same content. Now, the reason why this is called Surah Ibrahim is because mushrikeen of the Arabs, they used to believe in Ibrahim alayhi salam. So, in this, they used to believe in Ibrahim alayhi salam. So, in this, in this ayah, we find the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam, the dua that Ibrahim alayhi salam made, that Ya Allah, protect my family and myself, protect myself and my family from idols. As he mentions, وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّ اجْعَلْ هَذَا الْبَلَدَ آمِنًا وَجُنُبْنِي وَبَنِيَّ أَن نَعْبُدَ الْأَصْنَامَ. Save us from worshiping idols. So this was to show that idols were not worshipped by Ibrahim alayhi salam. This also shows that by him making this dua, he is nullifying the worshipping of idols, meaning that there is only one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, inshallah, we'll start Surah Ibrahim. Now then again, like I mentioned earlier, this is the content of the surah covers most of the content of Surah Ra'd. Then again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives examples of His creation and His knowledge. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alif Lam Ra كتاب أنزلناه إليك لتخرج الناس من الظلمات إلى النور بإذن ربهم إلى صراط العزيز الحميد. Then again, كتاب أنزلناه إليك لتخرج الناس من الظلمات إلى النور بإذن ربهم إلى صراط العزيز الحميد الله الذي له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وويل للكافرين من عذاب شديد. الذين يستحبون الحياة الدنيا على الآخرة ويصدون عن سبيل الله ويبغونها عوجا أولئك في ضلال بعيد وما أرسلنا من رسول إلا بلسان قومه ليبين لهم فيضل الله من يشاء ويهدي من يشاء وهو العزيز الحكيم ولقد أرسلنا موسى بآياتنا أن أخرج قومك من الظلمات إلى النور وذكرهم بأيام الله إن في ذلك لآيات لكل صبار شكور وإذ قال موسى لقومه اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ أنجاكم من آل فرعون يسومونكم سوء العذاب ويذبحون أبناءكم ويستحيون نساءكم وفي ذلكم بلاء من ربكم عظيم وإذ تأذن ربكم لئن شكرتم لأزيدنكم ولئن كفرتم إن عذابي لشديد. Now, then again, my dear respected brothers, this ayah needs to be noted. And if you want, you can highlight this ayah as well. Then again, another great ayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, I'm not saying other ayahs are not great. So, that's not my intention, and that's not what I'm intending towards. Now, so this is the key, my dear respected brothers. This is the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the key to success. And this is the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala performs things. لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. This is the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He says clearly, if you are grateful today, لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ, I will only increase for you, my dear respected brothers. This is why, my dear respected brothers, it is so important for us to do shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To do shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because honestly today, people, and this is what I tell my students too, and this is a very bad habit that people have. Firstly, we should do shukr for Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us Islam. And Islam is the greatest of blessings. This is a blessing that overpowers, overshadows all of our other blessings. Blessings like having 2 eyes, having 2 ears, having hands, having feet. Islam is the greatest of blessings. And this is, my dear respected brothers, this is something that we have to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to do shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because we have to think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we have to know this is our aqidah as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I mentioned earlier in other surahs, in another surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of our worship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of us. Us as humans, us Muslims, we are in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to look up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today people, they tend to forget this. Now, coming on to this, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Meaning the bounties, the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, if we are not grateful for these bounties, it can happen so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take this blessing away from us and give it to someone else. Now, my dear respected brothers, today it's sad to say, even when we are sitting, or let's say if you are a teacher, you can perhaps tell your students as well. Now, this is one bad habit when the teacher is sitting, and I've noticed this in a lot of places, when the teacher is sitting, now, his students are sitting around him. Now, either it's a hifz class, or it's an Islamic class, or whatever class it may be. Now they're sitting on the floor. Now, when you call on to your student, now your student is far away. A lot of times, and I've seen this myself, this is why I'm saying it, the student does not walk, the student rather crawls. The student walks on his, it's like a semi-stand. He stands on his knees, and then he walks towards you. The advice that we need to give, and if your children are doing this as well, when you call them, the advice that you need to give them, that Allah Ta'ala has given you 2 legs. You have to use these 2 legs. You have to use these 2 legs. Now, similarly, this is in a dunyawi perspective, a worldly perspective. Now, coming to a dini perspective. Similarly, my dear respected brothers and sisters, the 2 ears that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, these 2 ears are a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by giving us these 2 ears, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to hear good. Well, He wants us to hear His Quran. He wants us to hear His words. Now, these ears were not they were not created to listen to haram. The feet that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, these feet were not created to walk so they can walk towards haram. We will be asked about this. The eyes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, these are 2 blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to see, oh my slave, are you being thankful? And now the question is, how can a person be thankful? If Allah Ta'ala has given him 2 legs, how can he be thankful? Now there are 2 ways a person can be thankful. A person can show gratitude. First, he should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through his words. That Allah ta'ala, alhamdulillah, Allahumma laka shukr wa laka alhamd. Ya Allah, for you is all praise, for you is all gratitude, for you is all praise, for you is all gratitude. You have given me two legs to walk with. This is the first form of shukr. The second form of shukr is that a person should not sit on a chair. A person should stand up and pray to Allah ta'ala. This is doing shukr. Now, if Allah ta'ala has given him two eyes to see with, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him a tongue. Now, how can a person do shukr through his tongue? Now, a person can do for his tongue, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a person can say, Allahumma laka shukr wa laka hamd, Allahumma, Ya Allah, thank you, all gratitude is to Allah ta'ala, who has given me a tongue to speak with, to talk with. This is the first form of shukr. If, one form of shukr through your tongue. Now, the second form of shukr is that a person talks about good. A person, by reading Quran, you are doing shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By telling others to do good, you are doing shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thereafter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ. But on the other hand, if you are ungrateful, I've given you two legs to walk with. I've given you two eyes to see with. But if you are ungrateful, if you are misusing and mistreating my ni'mah, my an'um, my blessings upon you, then it can happen in the adhab al-shadid. You know what? I have given you these two eyes. I have given you these two legs. I have given you two eyes. It is upon me. I can take this away from you. So my dear respected brothers, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to show gratitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now moving on. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وقال موسى إن تكفروا أنتم ومن في الأرض جميعا فإن الله لغني حميد. ألم يأتكم نبأ الذين من قبلكم قوم نوح وعاد وثمود والذين من بعدهم لا يعلمهم إلا الله جاءتهم رسلهم بالبينات فردوا أيديهم في أفواههم وقالوا إنا كفرنا بما أرسلتم به وإنا لفي شك مما تدعوننا إليه مريب. قالت رسلهم أفي الله شك فاطر السماوات والأرض يدعوكم ليغفر لكم من دونكم ويؤخركم إلى أجل مسمى قالوا إن أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا تريدون أن تصدونا عما كان يعبد آباؤنا فأتونا بسلطان مبين. Now they used to say, we have doubts in what you are bringing. We have doubts. Just a little explanation on this as well. We have doubts in what you are bringing. So look at the response that the prophets have given them. أَفِي اللَّهِ شَكٌّ فَاطِرِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. How are you having doubts in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is a rhetorical question. أَفِي اللَّهِ شَكٌّ. Do you have doubts in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? فَاطِرِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. He is the creator of the skies and heaven. قالت لهم رسلهم إن نحن إلا بشر مثلكم ولكن الله يمن على من يشاء من عباده وما كان لنا أن نأتيكم بسلطان إلا بإذن الله وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. Now, there's also a lesson in this ayah as well that we need to extract, that we need to take. So their prophets said to them, because the people said, you are not human, you are angels. That's what their nation said to them. So the prophet said, قالت لهم رسلهم إن نحن إلا بشر مثلكم. We are not angels, we are humans just like you. ولكن الله يمن على من يشاء من عباده. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favors upon, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses, selects whomsoever He wants, in other words. Now, my dear respected brothers, we have to understand, this is the key that we have to understand today. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given someone, if someone is richer than us, if someone has more money than us, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed someone with more wealth, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed someone with a beautiful voice, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed someone with good speaking ability, this is something that we should not feel bad about. This is something that today a lot of people, they have hasad. Today a lot of people have jealous because of this. This and the prophets have said this clearly. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَمُنُّ عَلَى مَن يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, Yamun, either it is Nabuwa here, as they were saying, through Nabuwa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala selects whomsoever He wishes, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He favors whomsoever He wishes, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a person, now there are two people, Abdullah and Umar. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given more wealth to Abdullah, Umar should not complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ummah should not complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should not complain to Allah saying, Ya Allah, why have you given more wealth to Abdullah? Now, my dear respected brothers, this is the beauty of Islam. Islam teaches us that all people, all Muslims, never look at the person who's above you. Meaning, in terms of dunya. In terms of dunya, never look at a person who's above you. In terms of a'mal, always look at a person who's above you to be motivated. For instance, if you are a hafiz, you should look at a person who is an alim. Now, if a person is an alim, you should look at a person who is an alim and he's a hafiz. A person who is an alim, who is a hafiz, he should look up to a person and he should look up to a mufti. So, meaning, in other words, he should look at a person who is higher than him. In dunya, it's the opposite. In dunya, subhanAllah, it's the opposite. Now, for instance, a person should not look at a person who has more than him. For instance, you have a person whose net worth is $100,000, for instance. You should not look at a person whose net worth is $300,000. Because this is, my dear respected brothers, this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said as well. وَلَنْ يَمْلَأَ فَاهُ إِلَّا التُّرَابُ. This, wanting for more, if a person has 2, he wants 3, he wants 4, wants 5. وَلَنْ يَمْلَأَ فَاهُ إِلَّا التُّرَابُ. His mouth, dirt is the only thing that is going to fill his mouth. Now, a person in this life, we should look at poor people. Thereafter, we should do shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today, let's say you sit for iftar, you don't have too many items, you don't have a lot of food on your iftar. Now, it is not okay for a person to look at a king, to look at the king of Egypt, or to look at the king of Saudi Arabia and say, wow, look at his tablecloth. Yes, he has a lot of variety. He should look at a person. What about that person who is not even able to have a sip of water? A sip of water. Let alone have a sip of water, not a single date, a piece of date, a portion of a date, let alone having a date, full date in itself. So thereafter, you should do shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, Ya Allah, you may give him, may Allah, alhamdulillah, you have given me more than that person. So this is, my dear respected brothers, what we have to understand. Now, moving on, وَمَا كَانَ لَنَا أَن نَأْتِيَكُمْ بِسُلْطَانٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَمَا لَنَا أَلَّا نَتَوَكَّلَ عَلَى اللَّهِ وَقَدْ هَدَانَا سُبُلَنَا وَلَنَصْبِرَنَّ عَلَى مَا آذَيْتُمُونَا وعلى الله فليتوكل المتوكلون وقال الذين كفروا لرسلهم لنخرجنكم من أرضنا أو لتعودن في ملتنا فأوحى إليهم ربهم لنهلكن الظالمين ولنسكننكم الأرض من بعدهم ذلك لمن خاف مقامي وخاف وعيد واستفتحوا وخاب كل جبار عنيد من ورائه جهنم ويسقى من ماء صديد يتجرعه ولا يكاد يسيغه ويأتيه الموت من كل مكان وما هو بميت ومن ورائه عذاب غليظ. Then again, this talks about some of the punishments of people of Jahannam. My dear respected brothers, the punishment we will cover in other surahs. مثل الذين كفروا بربهم أعمالهم كرماد اشتدت به الريح في يوم عاصف لا يقدرون مما كسبوا على شيء ذلك هو الضلال البعيد. Now, subhanAllah. Now this is a beautiful example Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives, then again, of those who perform righteous deeds in this world. Now, although these people have performed righteous deeds, but unfortunately, they have not been given guidance. They are not guided. So their example is that, a person today, and this is what my dear respected brothers, what we have to understand. Islam, honestly, is such a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today, a person, a kafir, now a non-Muslim, he can spend $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 in charity. A Muslim who gives $1 in charity, in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this Muslim who has given $1 in charity is more valuable, is more precious than that disbeliever who has given $50,000 or $500,000 in charity. This is why, my dear respected brothers, we have to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The example of their amal is the example of when you have dirt or when you have sand particles. Thereafter, a wind comes and scatters everything. Everything is gone. So this is why, my dear respected brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna ad-din 'inda Allahi al-Islam. The only way to success, the only way in this life, the only accepted religion in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one. And that is the religion of Islam. the religion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So we have to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that today this is something, my dear spiritual brothers, a lot of people, they overlook this. They neglect the fact that they are Muslims. Na'udhu. So we have to cherish this. Moving on, ألم تر أن الله خلق السماوات والأرض بغير الحق إن يشاء يذهبكم ويأتي بخلق جديد وما ذلك على الله بعزيز الله. And then again, my dear spiritual brothers, this is coming again to how we are dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Na'udhu billah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need us. ألم تر أن الله خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق. Don't you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the skies and the earth? إن يشاء يذهبكم ويأتي بخلق جديد. If He wants, within seconds, within a fraction of a second, He can remove all His creation. Thereafter, ويأتي بخلق جديد. Thereafter, bring a new creation. And this creation will worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we have to understand, we are reliant on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Humans are reliant on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Na'udhu billah, it is not vice versa. It is not the other way around. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not reliant on us. وبرزوا لله جميعا فقال الضعفاء للذين استكبروا إنا كنا لكم تبعا فهل أنتم مغنون عنا من عذاب الله من شيء قالوا لو هدانا الله لهديناكم سواء علينا أجزعنا أم صبرنا ما لنا من محيص وقال الشيطان لما قضي الأمر إن الله وعدكم وعد الحق ووعدتكم فأخلفتكم وما كان لي عليكم من سلطان إلا أن دعوتكم فاستجبتم لي فلا تلوموني ولوموا أنفسكم ما أنا بمصرخكم وما أنتم بمصرخي إني كفرت بما أشركتموني من قبل إن الظالمين لهم عذاب أليم. I've done done a little explanation on this, so I won't do it here. وأدخل الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها بإذن ربهم تحيتهم فيها السلام. ألم تر كيف ضرب الله مثلا كلمة طيبة كشجرة طيبة أصلها ثابت وفرعها في السماء تؤتي أكلها كل حين بإذن ربها ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس لعلهم يتذكرون ومثل كلمة خبيثة كشجرة خبيثة اجتثت من فوق الأرض ما لها من قرار. Dear brothers and sisters, it comes in a hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said clearly that staying silent is better than saying something bad. Staying silent is staying silent is better than saying something bad, something evil. Now, and saying something good is better than staying silent. And staying alone, being in isolation, solitude, is better than being in a bad company. And in another beautiful hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, I will share two hadith. Man samata najah. He who stays quiet succeeds. Meaning, now my dear respected brothers, today a lot of people, they just talk, just profusely. They talk whatever they want. A lot of times they just talk for no reason. So this shows that, a person should talk, but when he talks, he should talk about either good or his speech should benefit people. He should not engage and involve himself in useless talk, in nonsensical talk. But after, in another beautiful hadith, man kana yu'minu billahi, a person who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wal yawm al-akhir, and the day of judgment, فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا. Thereafter, if he does these two things, if he believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he believes in the hereafter, then he shall say something good. فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا, he shall say something good. أَوْ لِيَصْمُتْ, otherwise he should remain silent. Now, moving on. يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ويضل الله الظالمين ويفعل الله ما يشاء. ألم تر إلى الذين بدلوا نعمة الله كفرا وأحلوا قومهم دار البوار جهنم يصنعونها وبئس القرار وجعلوا لله أندادا ليضلوا عن سبيله قل تمتعوا فإن مصيركم إلى النار قل لعبادي الذين آمنوا يقيموا الصلاة وينفقوا مما رزقناكم سرا وعلانية من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلاف. Now my dear brothers, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. Now for instance, let's say you're writing your test. Now, your teacher tells you whether you know the answer or not, just keep writing. Just keep writing. Just come up with an answer. Just keep writing. Just keep brainstorming. Because the teacher wants you to get a better mark. Similarly, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الذين آمنوا يقيموا الصلاة وينفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلال. Oh my brother, oh my people, oh my slaves, establish salah. Keep meaning يقيموا الصلاة, establish salah until your death. ينفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية. Keep spending in the path of Allah. Keep spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sirran wa alaniya, either you do it secretly or openly. Alaniya, openly. Min qabli, until what time? Min qabli an ya'tiya yawman la bay'un fihi wa la khilal. Until yawm al-qiyamah. Until, in other words, until your death. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, oh my slaves, keep praying salah. Engage yourself in that remembrance. Keep praying salah. Keep performing acts of good. Do not waste your time. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Do you think we have created you just to have fun in this life, just to enjoy life, just to waste time? وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ. And do you really think that you will not return to us? No. You will return to us. There will be a day. There is an appointed date when you will return to us. Now, it is up to us, my respected brothers, to start writing, to start actually working on our amal, to be ready for that day. الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم وسخر لكم الفلك لتجري بالبحر بأمري وسخر لكم الأنهار وسخر لكم الشمس والقمر دائبين وسخر لكم الليل والنهار وآتاكم من كل ما سألتموه وإن تعدوا نعمة الله لا تحصوها إن الإنسان لظلوم كفار. Here, my dear respected brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given an open challenge. An open challenge to each and every single person, to you and I, to Muslims, to وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not referring to only kuffar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not only speaking to disbelievers, to non-believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing pious people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing those from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing those people in America, those people who live in Canada, those people who live in Russia, those people who live in China, those people who are of fair complexion, those people who are of dark complexion, those people who are yellow, those people who are brown. Each and every single person. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا, no one is safe from this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the challenge. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. O people, if you were to count, Allah ta'ala has used the word ni'mah. Not an'am. An'am is plural of ni'mah. Ni'mah is singular. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. O people, even if you were to count one of my blessings that I've given you, one of my blessings, لَا تُحْصُوهَا, you will not be able to do so. This is a blessing of Allah. This is the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَظَلُومٌ كَفَّارٌ. وإذ قال إبراهيم رب اجعل هذا البلد آمنا وجنبني وبني أن نعبد الأصنام. This was the dua that Ibrahim made. And this is the reason why this surah is called Ibrahim. Because the disbelievers, they believe in Ibrahim alayhi salam. This was to give clarifications that even Ibrahim alayhi salam did not worship idols. And he said, Ya Allah, amongst, not only, Ya Allah, save my children as well from the worship of idols. رب إنهن أضلن كثيرا من الناس فمن تبعني فإنه مني ومن عصاني فإنك غفور رحيم. ربنا إني أسكنت من ذريتي بواد غير ذي زرع عند بيتك المحرم ربنا ليقيموا الصلاة فاجعل أفئدة من الناس تهوي إليهم وارزقهم من الثمرات لعلهم يشكرون. ربنا إنك تعلم ما نخفي وما نعلن وما يخفى على الله من شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء. الحمد لله الذي وهب لي على الكبر إسماعيل وإسحاق إن ربي لسميع الدعاء رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي والمؤمنين يوم الحساب. ولا تحسبن الله غافلا عما يعمل الظالمون إنما يؤخرهم ليوم تشخص فيه الأبصار مهطعين مقنعي رؤوسهم لا يرتد إليهم طرفهم وأفئدتهم هواء. Now then again, these are a few descriptions of the people, of disbelievers on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Inshallah, we will cover this later on. وأنذر الناس يوم يأتيهم العذاب فيقول الذين ظلموا ربنا أخرنا إلى أجل قريب نجيب دعوتك ونتبع الرسل أولم تكونوا أقسمتم من قبل ما لكم من زوال وسكنتم في مساكن الذين ظلموا أنفسهم وتبين لكم كيف فعلنا بهم وضربنا لكم الأمثال وقد مكروا مكرهم وعند الله مكرهم وإن كان مكرهم لتزول منهم جبال فلا تحسبن الله مخلف وعده رسله إن الله عزيز ذو انتقام يوم تبدل الأرض غير الأرض والسماوات وبرزوا لله الواحد القهار وترى المجرمين يومئذ مقرنين في الأصفاد. Then again, description of the مجرمين on يوم القيامة. سرابيلهم من قطران وتغشى وجوههم النار ليجزي الله كل نفس ما كسبت إن الله سريع الحساب. هذا بلاغ للناس ولينذروا به وليعلموا أنما هو إله واحد وليذكروا أولو الألباب وليذكر أولو الألباب. Now, my dear fellows, like I mentioned earlier, these are all nasiha of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to people. These are all indications that people turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, this brings us to the conclusion of Surah Ibrahim. Inshallah, tomorrow we will start with. Now, my dear respected brothers, as I mentioned earlier, most of these surahs will cover the content of the same content, the same topic, the same discussion. So we will not do them in full details. We'll quickly go over them. Now, I'll tell you what surah we'll do in details. Few details will be mentioned in Surah Nahl, few in Surah Hijr as well. Surah Hijr, Surah Nahl, Isra will be detailed, inshallah. Kahf will be detailed as well, inshallah. Now, our goal, inshallah, is to finish around the 10th or the 11th, close to that time, around the 10th or the 11th of the month. Inshallah, yes, inshallah, for sure. That is our goal. Now, are there any questions or anything you would like to say, perhaps? Or anything you've missed? Or honestly, if there are any suggestions that you would like to give as well, I'm open to your suggestions. Inshallah, if you have a very good suggestion, we will take it into consideration, inshallah. So if you have any suggestions or opinions, perhaps, or anything you would like to say, anything you would like to mention on how we can how we can work on this program, how we can make this session more entertaining, or how we can improve on this. So honestly, I won't feel bad. I won't mind. Feel free to share your thought. Because after this, inshallah, we'll move on to our hadith and our dua. Alhamdulillah. Because the other reason is, honestly, if I go into the minutest of details, that would take up a very long time, honestly, like nearly 2 hours, 2-3 hours. And it would be very hard for us to finish, because we want to have, we want people to have time to save time for the last few days as well, the last few days of Ramadan. Because these few days, a person should be engaged and involved in a lot of worship. So alhamdulillah, for those who are on YouTube, or inshallah, I will respond to you as well. Will I do a detailed tafsir another time? Is this referring to as next year, or I'm sorry, what is this referring to as? Sometime this year, honestly, I do not know, because then again, this is not my own personal program or anything. Alhamdulillah, Zainab Center has given me a chance to work under them. You can say I'm an employee under them, under this organization. So we will, of course, we'll definitely look into this. But I can't say anything right now. Honestly, this is, you can say, now then again, Jazakallah khairan, that's that's very nice. Alhamdulillah that you mark the ayahs. Honestly, my dear respected brothers and sisters, firstly, our main objective and our main goal of this program, this session, was to have more involvement, meaning our goal was to bring people towards Quran. Now, then again, I'm not, don't take my words wrong. I'm not saying people are not reading Quran today. That's not my point. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is we want people to get closer. We want them to have more inclination towards Quran, more inclination towards Hadith, to have more love for Quran, Hadith, and Sunnah, and this Deen. Now, inshallah, if the interest, if the numbers, if the number goes higher, inshallah, maybe only Allah Ta'ala knows best. We can perhaps do perhaps do tafsir in full details. But as of now, our goal is to have, because you always start off small. Even when you are either you are racing or you are anything you do in life, you always start off small. Similarly, when a child is born, a child does not start to run as soon as the child is born. It does not start to run. Firstly, the child gets up, it sits, thereafter it crawls, then it stands up, thereafter it starts to walk, and then it starts running, and then thereafter, if the child wants, or the boy wants, or he will engage himself in other activities, either in a marathon or a 100-meter dash or whatever it may be, 100-meter sprint. So this is what our goal was, that we will not start right away with full details. We'll do slight details. We will cover the main points, and inshallah further on, inshallah maybe in the future, we will do tafsir with full details. What do you got? Inshallah, for sure. Now, should we move on to hadith, or I think we should move on to hadith now, inshallah. Honestly, if you have any suggestions, you can feel free to share, or otherwise, we will move on to our hadith and our dua of the day. So no problem, inshallah, we'll move on to our hadith. Now, this hadith has been narrated by Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu, and it has been mentioned in Ibn Majah, one of the Sahih Sittah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, and my dear respected brothers, this is a very it's a beautiful hadith. It's in other words, you can say this is a very scary hadith as well. And this is something that we have to, may Allah save us from this. I mean, إن هذا الشهر قد حضركم وفيه ليلة خير من ألف شهر. This month that has come to you, in it there is a night which is better than 1,000 months. من حرمها فقد حرم الخير كله. Now this is the scary part. Whoever is deprived of this night, whoever is deprived of Laylatul Qadr, indeed this person is deprived of all good. وَلَا يُحْرَمُ خَيْرَهَا إِلَّا مَحْرُومٌ. And no one is deprived of its goodness except for that person who is truly deprived. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not make us amongst those who are deprived of this night. Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to reach Laylatul Qadr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to reach the benefits of Laylatul Qadr. Now, inshallah, towards the end of our Quran tafsir, inshallah, we'll talk about Laylatul Qadr as well. We'll talk about Laylatul Qadr as well, in full details, inshallah. Once again, إِنَّ هَذَا الشَّهْرَ قَدْ حَضَرَكُمْ وَفِيهِ لَيْلَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. This month that has come to you, in it there is a night which is better than 1,000 months. مَنْ حُرِمَهَا فَقَدْ حُرِمَ الْخَيْرَ كُلَّهُ. Whoever is deprived of this night, is deprived of all good. وَلَا يُحْرَمُ خَيْرَهَا إِلَّا مَحْرُومٌ, and no one is deprived of its goodness except one who is truly deprived. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to reach Laylatul Qadr. Now, my dear respected brothers and sisters, moving on to a very, very beautiful dua. And this was the dua that my teacher had taught me. And honestly, if you make this dua today, it will be very beneficial. Will be very beneficial. So the dua is now for if you want, you can as I'm saying this, if you want, you can write this down as well. Now I will say it slowly 3 times, and then I will say the meaning. Okay. So for those who want to write this down, and inshallah this program will be on YouTube as well. So for those who want to listen to this again, they can go on YouTube and inshallah they can work on this. So the dua is Allahumma ja'alni sabura waj'alni shakura waj'alni fi 'ayni saghira wa fi a'yuni an-nas kabira. Once again, Allahumma ja'alni sabura waj'alni shakura waj'alni fi 'ayni saghira wa fi a'yuni an-nas kabira. Third time, Allahumma ja'alni sabura waj'alni shakura waj'alni fi 'ayni saghira wa fi a'yuni an-nas kabira. Now, my dear respected brothers and sisters, this dua, honestly, you have to make this dua daily. You have to make this dua nearly 7 times or 3 times after every fard surah. Please do this. Allahumma ja'alni sabura, oh Allah, make me patient. Allahumma ja'alni sabura, oh Allah, make me patient. Waj'alni shakura, make me grateful to you. Ya Allah, Allahumma ja'alni sabura, make me patient. Waj'alni shakura, make me grateful to you. Now this is the beauty of this dua. Waj'alni fi 'ayni saghira. Ya Allah, make me look small in my eyes. Wa fi a'yuni an-nas kabira, but make me look great and make me look great in the eyes of others. Waj'alni fi 'ayni saghira, make me look small in my eyes. By doing so, inshallah, a person will be saved from pride. وَجَعَلْنِي فِي عَيْنِ صَغِيرًا, make me small in my eyes, make me small in my eyes. وَفِي أَعْيُنِ النَّاسِ كَبِيرًا, but make me look great in the eyes of others. Make me look big in the eyes of others. So this, my dear respected brothers, this is a dua that inshallah we need to make daily. So, now is this dua clear to everyone? Is this dua clear? Jazakallahu khairan. Okay. Now, then again, please make this dua daily. Once again, for the last time, Allahumma ja'alni sabura, Ya Allah, make me patient. Wa ja'alni shakura, my teacher gave me this dua. He said, make this dua daily. Make good use of this dua. وَجَعَلْنِي شَكُورًا, make me thankful, make me grateful to you, make me show gratitude towards you. وَجَعَلْنِي فِي عَيْنِ صَغِيرًا, make me look small in my eyes. وَفِي أَعْيُنِ النَّاسِ كَبِيرًا, and make me look big in the eyes of others, and make me look great in the eyes of others. So, Jazakallahu khairan for your time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, Jazakallahu khairan. And that is correct. Now, honestly, I don't know how you've written the i'rab there as well, but alhamdulillah, that's very nice. Because normally, copy. Okay, no problem. That's correct. That's correct. Allahumma ja'alni sabura, wa ja'alni shakura. Now, for those who are on Start Media, they can thank this sister who has written this dua. May Allah Ta'ala reward you immensely. Jazakallahu khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to reach Laylatul Qadr. Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now make us amongst those who are deprived of Laylatul Qadr. Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to fast in this month of Ramadan with ease. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to live a long, healthy healthy and an obedient life towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also enable us to have, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to give priority to, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to give priority and to give preference to this deen over dunya. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also enable us to have love for those who are working for deen. جزاك الله خيرا for your time. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله.